Wavy Radio. I'm thankful that you did me wrong, cause now I got it right, I promise you gon' miss me gone. I done seen it all like the first picture phone. They wishing on my downfall with the wishing bone. Wavy Radio.
Revoking 5 years.
And
he will be continued on probation, Your Honor?
And reinstate the balance.
Thank you.
Might I ask, is it possible for my client to turn himself in to make arrangements?
I think y'all knew when you came in here that this was a strong possibility. So, no, I'm sorry.
Now, unless you on cloud 10, under a route, how you heard the motherfucking word? What's good, y'all? It's yours truly. Once again, HeartBreak Ace. Familiar with my content? Why not? Hit that like, comment, subscribe so that I can get breaking content every time I upload. Because you got to keep going non-stop, man. No matter what Oscar's in front of you. Because first you get that money, then you get that power. So no matter what the algorithm do to stop y'all from getting these videos, I'm going to keep going non-stop. Pause. And you already know, man. If he giving y'all a problem, you know what I'm going to do to him. Break his jaw. Nah, topic of discussion of why we here. Y'all read the title, man. Shout out my guy, Young Thugger, man. Free Young Thug till his back is for real. I'm going to just keep saying that till he out. Because at this point, 3 judges, all the foul play with the prosecutors, no actual evidence on Young Thug. The star witnesses, like Woody, my Thodus, he out doing whatever he want to do right now. So, Young Thug should just be home, man. Well, bad news for the defense. Not for Young Thug and not for Brian Steele and his lawyer, all of them, his attorney and whatnot, but his friends, his associates. As in the title, Mounk Tounk. I guess he tried to come in there and do his little bravado, Mr. Cool, try to be like Woody, but he did it wrong. He should have just came in that bitch and said, I don't recall this, I don't recall that. But he didn't. He tried to tell Miss Love she don't scare him and this and that. And they violated this man probation for a non-violent situation. And he's going to prison for 5 years. He got credit for 2 years, so he's still gonna be doing like 3 years, which is fucked up. But he caused it on himself, and I really hate to say that. But without further ado, man, before I even break this situation down, you know what we do best. Somebody told me that I was on the block. Young Thug ain't trying to get in no trouble because he this close from coming home. So I told him, man, I don't really care. If the op on the block, the cops can be there. I'm pulling with my mask off. Let's spin the block.
Testimony and how it affected the trial of the case, and I'm going to let Your Honor be the full steward of deciding what the penalty should be as it relates to all of the time that Mr. Sledge still has remaining on probation.
All right, well, I know that at least, I believe in the petition for revocation, the request is that the entire 30 years be revoked, is that right?
It's not the request.
Or is, oh, you're just telling me that's what he has at this point, although it can't be all of it, right? I mean, he's been on probation for at least a couple of years, and did he serve it? What's left?
He just started on December 8th of 2023. I think he got credit for the time. I think he was in for 2 years, so he would have 26 and change, or 25 and change.
I'm sorry, correct, 22.
My bad.
Give the exact number. That would be 27 years, 7 months, and 8 days.
All right. All right, thank you. Anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor, nothing further from the state.
Okay.
Your Honor, if it will please the court, I understand the court's ruling that there's a violation. Ultimately, I guess to some degree, while it's not clearly akin to a substantive versus technical violation of probation, it is a non-violent, non-new offense kind of violation, and I would say if the court is going to violate my client, it would be more germane to treat it as a technical violation. We have expressed to the court different thoughts and reasons for the way the testimony came out. We don't know what effect, if any, one way good or one way bad, that has had. But in terms of his violation I would ask the court treat it more as a technical. He has one grandchild on the way, one that just came early this year with Ms. Jaquila Freeman. So the point is, he has been staying out of the way. He's been complying with probation. I would ask the court to maybe consider if you want to put more restrictions and make his probation much more of a, not just something he's on, but something that now has more teeth to it because he's been working. He's been taking care of his family. He's staying out of trouble. He's turned that corner. And literally, it was always our hope he wouldn't have to come in and testify. And there was a reason the state allowed this plea to go forward so that he could step away. And in doing so, if you recall, you may remember from his testimony, by no fault of his, he was a victim of a crime where he was shot multiple times and had to recover from that. So we would ask the court to consider some restrictions first as opposed to custody. And if you do go with custody, we would ask to consider it as a technical type of violation, not a substantive violation in which you would be authorized to give him an even greater sentence. So we would leave it in the discretion of the court, but we're asking again for a non-custodial revocation punishment.
Okay, well, I don't view it as a technical violation or akin to a technical violation, considering the solemn oath that he took when he said that he understood every term within the plea agreement, factual acknowledgments, and sentencing acknowledgments, and understood and, in fact, orally answered that he understood when both asked by the prosecutor and the court at his plea hearing that failure to abide by any of the terms would constitute a violation of the agreement, and he was notified that the entirety of his probation could be revoked. I do appreciate the fact that this particular violation is a non-violent violation, but I also appreciate the fact that some of the why this could have occurred include the fact that there is just not a proper regard for the judicial system and the seriousness with which an oath in court needs to be taken. I actually view this much more akin to perjury, frankly, than a technical violation, and the sentence for perjury is up to 10 years. I am going to revoke 5 years of Mr. Sledge's probation. And Mr. Sledge, I am sympathetic to the fact that you have generally stayed out of trouble, and I want to commend you for that. And I really hope that this revocation doesn't set you back. But we've got to take seriously the court system. So that's the sentence of the court. I find there to have been that violation. I'm revoking 5 years.
And
And he will be continued on probation, Your Honor?
And reinstate the balance. Thank you.
Might I ask, is it possible for my client to turn himself in to make arrangements?
I think y'all knew when you came in here that this was a strong possibility. So, no, I'm sorry. All right, court is adjourned.
You failed. You failed. You failed. You failed. I'm telling you this.
I thought bro said something.
All the work that you talked about here and your studies, and I'm not mentioning everything, but your interviews, reviewing interviews, cell phone plotting, videos, all your work, okay? Mm-hmm. Then at some point, you remember the date in 2018 you interviewed Mr. Kelvin Treadwell, O.G. Bentley. Do you remember that?
Which day was this again?
2018.
Oh, right. Yes, I do remember that. Yes. That was another matter, but I do remember it.
And do you remember stating that you can't understand why people think that Thug, I call him Jeffrey, had something to do with the killing of Nut, I call him Mr. Thomas? That doesn't make sense? That's the thing that always confused me about this case, because all these rumors started immediately that Young Thug had something to do with it. But yeah, then Young Thug put a picture of him on Instagram, Mr. Thomas. So I'm looking at these people saying, oh, you and Little Woody had something to do with it. The more investigated the case, the more I've investigated the case, I just don't. Near as I could tell, Young Thug and Birdman were friends with Mr. Thomas or Nut, so I don't know why people say that he was involved.
Well, I recorded the interview, so I'm assuming that's a verbatim quote. I don't have everything I said during that interview memorized, but I'm assuming that, like I said, since you're reading from a transcript that, yeah, I said that.
Okay. All right.
Pushing like no paperwork has been changed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
all right, y'all, we bet like a little 5-10 minute swerve, but I saw the op on the block, and it was easy this time for real. I got him. Now, let me break down what just happened for those that don't understand. This is probably bittersweet for Young Thug in the defense. Why is it bittersweet? Well, first of all, that is Young Thug's friend, Mounk Tounk, that is. But at the end of the day, like I said in the beginning, in the intro, all of this changing judges and finding the prosecutor with their dirty work and the lead witnesses not helping them, they look like they're losing this case. And one thing the state hate is losing the case, especially somebody that's a rapper like Young Thug. But it is looking that way. So Mounk Tounk basically took the fall for the rest of the guys. Unknowingly. That's what that was. They got to get somebody out of this. And as you can see, YSL Woody made a mockery of him. He talking shit, doing whatever he do. He famous now. It's all thanks to the judges. All thanks to the prosecutors and team all like that. He worked against him and played him and made him a little stupid. Now he the man. And Mounk Tounk tried to do the same thing. Only difference is he tried to be too cool and not be labeled as a snitch at all. He tried to just, I'm associating them boys. He was discrediting Woody and all that. He was doing a lot of shit that didn't work in their favor. They wanted him to come in basically to snitch on Young Thug. Basically to say YSL is a gang. I'm active in it. We was doing a lot of this and that. That's what they wanted him to do in order for him to go home. He didn't do that. So it backfired on him. Tell him it's love. You think you scared me and that. I ain't scared of you and all that. Man, everybody seen that. And if they lose this case and nobody get locked up, imagine what that would have did for any future arrest that they try to make. So Mounk Tounk was simply the fall guy, unfortunately. But he signed a plea deal. You should have read the fine print. And he had a sorry ass lawyer. Let's call a spade until it ain't a joke. You get what I'm saying? He had a sorry ass lawyer. And I feel bad that his lawyer had to be a black guy. Because Brian Steele and Sharp, they handling business. They bad it, fool. They getting their defendants out. What it's looking like to me. Mounk Tounk try to keep it gangster and keep it in the hood, and that shit backfired on him, like it always does. These niggas love the streets, but the streets will never love you back. As you can see from the history of America so far, it'll never love you back. I don't care what you do. The streets is like a subconscious mind. It don't know good or bad. It just go off of what it sees a lot, and it feel like that's what you want. That's what it's gonna feed you. That's the energy it's gonna give you. That's life. And yeah, still in all though, I feel bad for the guy, man, because he didn't even want to testify. He didn't even do nothing violent or nothing like that. He was supposed to go there and say certain things that he didn't say, and they got him for that. 5 years. Violated his whole shit. Now that's gonna make these suits and they're gonna make everybody else straighten up. But like I said, Brian Steele and Sharp have been playing the long game, the gangster game. They kind of already knew how shit would play out. And I understand why Thug giving him millions of dollars. Because it look like he gonna be coming home. Especially when the state is a little bit of relief because they got somebody out of this shit. Of course, they're still trying to go for the big fish on Thug, but if they don't get him, they're gonna feel a little bit better because somebody got locked up out of this YSL RICO case. Even if it ain't Young Thug. Because everybody else been making a mockery of them. Seriously. Making Atlanta State look stupid. Fulton County look dumb with all the things that's been going on. So that's why I said it's a bittersweet situation. Yeah, it might help Thug out, but at the end of the day, man, damn. A nigga kept it solid and you lock him up, but this nigga Woody, my fellow, this nigga lied to y'all, kept attitude, told you your breath was stink, all kind of shit. This nigga doing 20v1s, this nigga doing interviews, pulling out stacks of money like it ain't nothing, bro. While people out here struggling for real. So I just feel like the justice system is always fucked up. You want to lock this man up because he didn't want to say nothing, but you got a nigga that clearly was lying and let him run scot-free. This whole situation is a circus act. But that's all I have for y'all, man. Free Young Thug till it's back with y'all. Now, I'm going to say this again, you know, this world keeps showing me every day. And ain't showing y'all. Well, I always say, love each other. Till next time, yours truly, HeartBreak.